Theft Auto 5 has been around since the year 2013, and the game was, and it still is, quite a lot of fun to play. I mean, when I get on and play, I really like goofing around and just doing dumb stuff with my friends, you know, driving around the map in my Zentorno and my T20, singing into Fort Zancudo, so on and so forth, just goofing around, stealing cop cars. And now that the new Grand Theft Auto has been announced, I want to make a list of things that I want to see in the upcoming installment of the famed franchise. So sit back, relax, grab a drink, grab something to eat, and enjoy the video. Now, I really liked Los Santos as a map because of the diverse terrain. You know, you had a city in all of its suburbs with the freeways and the roads, all the cool neighborhoods, and then you had mountainous terrain with deserts and forests farther up north. And while I think that another Grand Theft Auto game set in San Andreas, which is based off of LA County in real life, would be okay because of the opportunities, I feel like a new city would be a more than welcome thing in the Grand Theft Auto franchise. Now, people all over the internet and all over social media have been speculating that the new Grand Theft Auto will be set in Vice City, which is based off of Miami, but I feel like there's more opportunities in other cities. For example, I would really like to see a Grand Theft Auto set in either Las Vegas or in Chicago, and obviously both cities have their ups and downs in real life, and there's a lot of cool stuff in both cities. So in my opinion, it would be nice to see a game with the Windy City or the Sin City. And personally, I feel like Vegas fits the vibe of Grand Theft Auto more simply because, you know, there's some stuff like gambling, drinking, and stuff I really can't talk about, otherwise YouTube is going to demonetize me. And Chicago has like the scalability, like the area, the population, all that stuff. And I feel like because of Chicago's scalability, I think that will be the winner out of the two for the new GTA map. But I wouldn't be surprised if they did Vegas, or maybe even mixed elements of the two and created like some completely fictional city. And I personally think that that would be really cool. You know, you have the casinos, and then you got like the high-rise buildings of Chicago. And I mean, honestly, either way, I can't wait to see the location for the new Grand Theft Auto. I hope they do a new location. Who knows what Rockstar is going to pull out of their sleeve next. You see, GTA 5 did its absolute best to emulate real life and mirror how LA actually functioned on a day-to-day basis. Despite this attempt, there were still some holes in the realism aspect of the game. See, a prime example of this is the way cops react and respond to your actions in the game. So an example is, if you literally run a red light in front of the cops, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. They're not going to chase after you. They're not going to pull you over. And if you speed at them, like well over the speed limit, if you go almost 200 miles an hour, nothing happens. And I feel like that aspect has to be more realistic, like you get pulled over and stuff like that. I would also like to see more realistic physics and more realistic handling of cars. See, when driving over ramps like at high speed, the cars feel basically weightless and you're literally just hanging in the air for a good 10, 15, maybe even 20 seconds depending on where you are. Another thing is the ragdoll mechanics aren't like as good as the ones in GTA 4. So example is, if you get into a car crash at like full speed and you hit like a huge car, nothing happens, you don't die. Another thing I want to see is improved AI and NPC quality, in the sense that there's really no rush hour traffic during the day. If you guys have ever been to LA, rush hour traffic sucks. There's literally a movie called Rush Hour based in LA because of the poor traffic. And the driver sucks, so if you're crossing a road, you're gonna get hit. They really don't give a damn. And the intelligence of NPCs aren't too high. If they fix that, it's definitely gonna be a lot better of a game, and it's going to be a lot more playable. Now that I talked about some online stuff, I do want to move over to the story mode, and I want to see some better missions and more missions, and I'll get to that in just a second. See, the thing with the story mode in Grand Theft Auto 5 is that while the story was really good, it was really funny, really interesting, the juicy missions basically have the same objective, and that's just to do robberies and take part in crime in the hood. And there's the underlying story of betrayal. If you guys have played the story, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I feel like there should be a cool story with a mix of crimes, you know, white-collar crimes, you know, like homicide. I feel like this is definitely going to be a welcome addition. There's like another layer, there's another dimension to the game, so you're not just like doing robberies, you know, holding up convenience stores and all that stuff. I feel like Rockstar and Take-Two definitely have the potential to do this and make a really cool story for the next GTA title. And I would also like to see something called DLC. Obviously, we all know what DLC is, but I want to see it for story mode. This is really similar to what Insomniac did for Spider-Man. If you guys don't know what Insomniac is, they literally made Spider-Man for the PS4 like back in 2018 in Miles Morales, obviously. And for that game, there was purchasable DLC for the storyline, and obviously, if you finish the story, you wanted to do more stuff, you literally just paid, and it just gave you the DLC, and there were like extra missions. It wasn't the side missions either. It was actually based off of the true story. It was a little extension of it. It wasn't obviously necessary, but it was really cool. I feel like Rockstar should do that. It's up to them to make it paid. I wouldn't make it paid personally, just so the replayability of the actual game is a lot higher. And I feel like this is gonna add more missions and more cool stuff for the fans to do in story mode, and keep people playing story mode and just instead of just ruining online, if you guys get what I mean. Moving back to the online aspect of the game, another really big problem that Rockstar had in GTA Online was the grind for things. Like, you had to grind so hard to get so many stuff. There were so many expensive things. I mean, the yacht cost like 12 something million dollars. I'm not even sure if that math is right. I may be completely wrong. If I am wrong, let me know down in the comments below. And the Luxury Deluxe, the gold jet, literally cost $10 million. It literally gave you a gold paint job, and it gave you some champagne. Nothing else. It's the same thing as the Luxor, and that's black, and it's like miles cheaper. And things became so expensive. While the heists did help, they didn't really help by much. At the end, I don't think you got more than like $5-6 million total. And the grind for money was really hard, and that was a turnoff for a lot of people. And Rockstar should definitely lower that barrier to entry for new players so that it can be more accessible, so that they can access more stuff. And an example of this is the RPG. You get the RPG at, I believe, level 70. So if you're level 70, congratulations, you can get the RPG. But in GTA 5, if you were like level 5, you literally couldn't get any weapons. And so people could just blow you up with the RPGs. You couldn't find any way to defend yourself. And that just didn't make the game as fun. It's got to be more balanced across the road. Like, everybody, like, the grind has to be like systemic. It's got to be good. It's got to be reliable. It's got to be consistent across the board, so that people have to grind for stuff, but it's not going to be as bad. Like, you don't have to dish out like US dollars or like wherever you live, that currency, for shark cards, so that you can get a hydrojet and some cool apartments and some really cool cars. I feel like everybody should have to do that. Like, have the ability to do that without having to pay money. Rockstar should make the grinding aspect of the game more consistent and better, so that people can level up faster and they can have a lot more fun together. That's the biggest thing I think that they should add in GTA 6. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is a feature that's not new to the industry whatsoever. In fact, it's literally been around since Fortnite introduced these features in 2018, and that's cross-platform and cross-progression. Cross-platform is basically when you have two different platforms and you can play together. So if you have an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One or Series X, and your friend has a PS3, PS4, or PS5, you can literally play together, and that made it so much more fun, because it decreased the barrier to entry to play. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more players, there's a lot more diversity, and that made it so much fun, and that increased the replayability factor for the game. And another thing is cross progression. So if you gain 5 levels in GTA on the Xbox One and you wanted to move to PC, you could literally sign in with your Rockstar account, and boom, it's literally all right there. That's what Call of Duty does, that's what Fortnite does, that's what a bunch of other games do. And I feel like Rockstar can do this, and it can make for so many more fun lobbies. And I agree, there can be issues at launch. There could be the issues with like overloading servers and maybe, you know, like PC modders or like glitches and stuff like that. But if Rockstar mitigates that and they keep that in check, cross-platform and cross-progression will be probably one of the greatest features of GTA 5 and GTA Online. And it'll make the game so much more fun. The replayability factor, I know I keep mentioning it, but bear with me. The replayability factor of the game increases by so much, because you're not literally just limited to playing with friends on Xbox or playing with friends on PlayStation or playing with friends on PC. You can literally just play with each other, and ultimately, as a gaming community, we want to connect each other. And now that I said what I wanted to say, what about you guys? Is the stuff I said basically everything you want to see? Or did you guys have anything else in mind you wanted to see in the upcoming installment of this franchise? Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. And as always, be sure to smash the subscribe button so I know you don't want to miss any future uploads. If you did drop a sub, thank you so much. Be sure to comment saying I subbed, and I will be sure to thank you personally. Be sure to smash the like button so I know you enjoyed the video. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Sugar signing off. Peace out.